Hey guys, welcome back to Andy's Dinosaur Reviews, and today we are going to take a look at another Mattel Jurassic World set, but this time it is a Legacy Collection set, and this is a set that I really wasn't intending on opening. In fact, I've had it here for quite a little while now, and I haven't opened it. I just was kind of leaving it in the package, and I was going to save it in the package, but I've actually had a ton of people messaging me asking me to review this set, so I guess I'll open it up just to, review it for everybody, and then maybe buy another one at some point to keep in package. But this, as you can see, is the Isla Sorna Capture Pack, and this set is absolutely awesome because not only do we have the vehicle from the Lost World with a little extra paint application to it, but we also have Roland Tembo making his debut in the Mattel line, and a juvenile Parasaurolophus, which is really cool because it's not every day we get kind of a small juvenile version of, different dinosaurs in the Mattel line. As far as the box art goes, it's pretty much exactly what you would expect when it comes to a Legacy Collection release, and I love the backdrop back there behind everything because it's very Lost World-like. Again, the ground and everything kind of recreates the scene from the Lost World Jurassic Park where they're capturing the dinosaurs, and obviously the scene we are recreating with this set, and that's one of the reasons why I really did want to keep it in the packaging. But again, as far as the box art goes, you can see what we have on the front, but as far as the back of the box art, you can again see how beautiful the images are and everything, showing off again some of the action features of the vehicle itself, and also again down here showing off some of the other current Legacy Collection figures that are out, which we have reviewed each and every one of those here on the channel. So let's go ahead and pop this open and check this set out. So we've got our vehicle out, we have the Parasaurolophus out as well, and then we also have Roland out, who is going to apparently fall back into the Parasaurolophus. Let's see if I can get him to stand. So I guess we're just going to lean him against the vehicle for now because he clearly does not want to stand. And then we also have the little missile thingies that we have there, the weapons to shoot out and I guess take down our Parasaurolophus. But the set definitely looks really cool, and I can say that as far as Roland himself goes, they definitely nailed the appearance to him perfectly. And I am just absolutely loving all of these Lost World Jurassic Park sets that Mattel has been releasing. And this, again, we also have the Sarah Harding set coming out not long from now. And this one is really cool. I hope they continue to go down this path of creating different Lost World sets because there's so many from that film that you could create. And this one, again, is probably one of the coolest ones that Mattel has released in quite some time, just simply because it has a Roland figure in it, and that is just super, super awesome if you ask me. And the Parasaurolophus is shockingly nice. Like, when I had seen the promotional images of this set, I was like, the Parasaurolophus looks okay, but it's kind of a letdown. I thought maybe we'd get like a full-size Parasaurolophus, but this one actually looks really nice. The only thing that's, kind of off about it would be the coloration. I think doesn't, of course, look exactly like what it looked like in the Lost World, but outside of that, I feel like it looks really good for what it is. The sculpt is fantastic as always, but the paint job that they have actually given it is really well done. Like, I love the coloration up there on the crest and the top of the head of the Parasaurolophus. It would have looked better if the color ran out onto the tail, but as a whole, I'm actually a pretty big fan of that figure. So let's go ahead and jump straight to a closer look at all of this right now. So starting with the vehicle itself, as per usual, when it comes to a Mattel vehicle, it is extremely nicely done and has a ton of really nice, really fine detail. And you can see that through the course of the entire model. Like, it absolutely looks awesome. It's not perfectly screen accurate to the way it looks in the Lost World Jurassic Park, but overall, I feel like it's pretty much the gist of what this vehicle looked like, so they have definitely done a good job as far as that goes, and of course as far as the fine detail goes. The coloration of the vehicle, though, is definitely a little bit off, as we have this strange kind of light green here, that kind of stripe that runs down, which is not something that you actually see on the vehicle in the Lost World Jurassic Park. So weird that they decided not to put the extra stripe on the Jeep not long ago in the Nedry set, but then they decided to put an extra stripe on this one, which it is definitely strange for Mattel to want to add extra paint when they don't need to. But again, outside of that, which this does kind of give it a little bit, of an appealing look to have that extra coloration, but it just really wasn't needed. but you can see that we have a beautiful InGen logo right here on the side. All of the, detail in the tires and everything looks great. You also have a nice InGen logo up here on the top of the hood here. You've also got a tire sticking out here, and you can see you can actually articulate that as well, which is really fun. There is definitely some nice detail, some nice stickers and decals and everything added. Once you come here to the inside of the vehicle as well, the inside is very nicely done detail-wise. It looks like we even have a place maybe to put some drinks or something right there. But you can see as far as the screen here in front of us, not only does it have some really nice detailing to it, but you can also see that it appears as though we are zeroing in on the Parasaurolophus. You can actually see that there on the screen. I don't know if we'll get a better view if we move down here, but you can really see how, again, beautifully detailed the inside of the vehicle is. There's not really much else going on like decal-wise or anything on the inside other than that screen right there, but it still looks really nice. And then you can also see that we have the back seat back here. The rear of the vehicle, it does have the tail lights here, which is a plus, and you can also see again the details look great back there. And then leading to the other side, we yet again have the InGen logo and all of the same style detail that we had on the initial side. Now, of course, you also have articulation in the wheels, but one other area that's very cool as far as the action feature goes, you have a button right here, and then it pops out just like in the Lost World Jurassic Park. And you also have this kind of little weapon down here, which you can load these little missiles into and then shoot that out. We're going to do that in a little bit. We won't do that quite yet, but it's really cool, works really nicely, very smooth action feature for the vehicle. So the vehicle as a whole, even though again not exactly like it is in the Lost World, is an absolutely awesome addition to the set. And then moving on to Roland Tembo, you can see again the likeness is honestly uncanny. Like, that looks awesome. When it comes to capturing the likeness of Roland, they knocked it straight out of the park, as well as his outfit. I don't know what's going on. They keep giving me these human figures with the arms like twisted, where they look like they're totally broken. That looks a little bit more natural, potentially. There we go. But you can see as far as the detailing goes on the face of Roland, it looks fantastic. The eyes look really nice as far as the paintwork that's been applied. You don't really see too much else going on there in the head, of course, until we lead up into the hat. The hat has a very nice, if it would focus on it, very nice, very highly detailed appearance to it as well. You can see that right there. Very beautiful kind of creasing and everything in the hat. Nice paintwork on the hat. As you lead down into his shirt, you can see he has a nice white shirt. Looks to be potentially like a button-up shirt. And then you can see he has a jacket over top. All of the sculpting and detailing looks great. You can kind of see like some slight creasing and everything in the shirt, as well as the jacket. Again, Mattel is fantastic when it comes to adding in a lot of life to the human figures and the sculpting of their clothes. All of the paintwork, again, looks really, really good. As you lead down, you can see some beautiful like muscle definition and everything to the arms, down into the hands and everything. The fingers, it all looks incredibly lifelike. You've also got a watch over here, which the watch, if we get nice and close here, it's a little hard to really see it, but it actually has some fairly nice detail to it, which is pretty interesting. You can see as you lead down, you can see again the belt there of Roland. You can also see the shorts that he is wearing. He has some nice green shorts. Again, lots of creasing and wrinkles and everything in the shorts. As you move down, you continue to see the muscle definition in his legs leading down into the calves. Again, nice calf muscles as well, before we get to the boots of Roland. And the boots look great sculpt-wise and paint-wise. It's pretty nice. It's nice and precise as far as the application of the paint. The only thing I would have liked to have seen would maybe be some like alternate color for the laces, but that's really just, asking for a lot, I would think, because it still looks really good for what it is. And you can see the back of his outfit also looks great here on Roland. And you have your standard articulation for Roland. As you can see, you have the head that turns very nicely. You also have the articulation in the shoulders, which can totally swivel. Same deal for the elbow. You can see there, and can also swivel, which we already saw because the arm kind of looked like it was broken. And you also have the swiveling here in the midsection, as well as both arms articulate like we saw in that first one. Then you have the hips, forward and back, as well as the knees. Very nicely done, and you can also swivel the knees, so you can break the legs of poor Roland if you choose to. But absolutely beautiful figure for sure. Really psyched to have a Roland now in the Mattel line. And then our Parasaurolophus, and you can see that the Parasaurolophus is absolutely beautiful when it comes to the sculpting and detailing. The head sculpt here looks great. You have some really nice, really fine detail. The eyes are painted with an orange, given a black pupil, and you can see the inside of the mouth. The mouth is open. Doesn't look like we have any actual paintwork for the inside of the mouth, but it is open. And I love that you can kind of see like some speckling and stuff there on the beak of the Parasaurolophus, just kind of giving it, again, a little bit more extra color variation. You can see the nostrils sculpted really nicely as you move up into the crest. The crest looks fantastic, and I love the color up here on the head. You have a nice light brown for the face, and then leading up to the top of the head, you have a darker shade of brown, and on top of that, you also have like some really dark brown, or maybe like a shade of black with like some splotching and striping through the crest of the Parasaurolophus, and it kind of has a little bit of a glossy look up there. So all of that, again, combined makes an incredibly beautiful looking crest and head area for this Parasaurolophus. As you move down, you can see we have some really nice neck articulation for the dinosaur in that area as well. And then leading here into the neck region, you can see more fantastic skin texture. You can get an idea of the spinal column there leading down the back of the dinosaur. Absolutely gorgeous looking paintwork. You can see more speckles and stuff showing up through the course of the figure. And again, a really smooth transition to that darker shade of brown on the top. And as we lead back here into the body, you start to see that same kind of designing with like that really dark brown in this alternate shade of brown up here. You can kind of see it just splotching around. It does kind of make its way down here into the lighter brown, but I really think that coloration is beautiful. It looks fantastic. Also kind of has a glossy look to it up there on the back, but somehow it does look really nice. Very bumpy appearance to the scale detail here on the back, almost like it looks like it's littered with osteoderms up here on the top of the dinosaur. As you lead down here into the side of the stomach, you can again see some fantastic skin texture. Almost the type of detail I'd like to see a nice dark washover creeping in and out of all of the cracks and crevices of the skin. Leading down into the hands, you can see the muscle definition in the arm, and then the hand sculpts themselves look great. You see more of those speckles throughout. Unfortunately, no painted nails, but even the Hammond collection Parasaurolophus didn't have painted nails, so that's no surprise. You have some beautiful skin wrinkles down here in the lower part of the stomach. Again, you also have the muscle definition here in the thigh as well as the calf. The kneecap is slightly present there. And then you lead down into the foot sculpt. The foot sculpt looks pretty good. We have more scoots down the toes and again some more speckling, but yet again, unfortunately, no nail paint for the feet of the dinosaur. And then as we lead back up here, you can see that alternate shade of brown tapers off, and that's the only unfortunate aspect, I think, to this figure. I would have really liked to have seen that color run the entire course of the tail, but this is kind of like trademark Mattel at this point as far as stopping the paint early right around the hip region. But as you continue out, you can see that we do still have the speckling, and the speckling, it almost looks like a wash in certain areas. At least does kind of give it, a look of extra paint applications, so I do really quite like that. And the detailing, again, looks absolutely gorgeous through the entire course of the figure. You have more of those bumpy scales up here on the top of the tail. Nice, fairly short tail like you would expect to see. You're not really going to see too much difference over here compared to what we saw on the initial side. You can see the eye paint, again, looks really good. All of the paint on the head in general looks fantastic. And then the same deal as we run down through the course of the figure. The only real big difference that you're really going to see over here, I think, would be the placement of the leg. You can see the leg is, leading over here, whereas the leg on the opposing side was trailing. But all of the detail, all of the paintwork, again, pretty much exactly the same. As far as the articulation goes through the course of the figure, we actually also have some really nice detail for the underside. But as far as the articulation goes, you also have articulation in the arms forward and back, and then legs forward and back, not really out away from the body or anything, and then a swivel tail. A little stiff, but that's really about it. Of course, outside of the head and neck area that we saw earlier, we do have the fax app code here. So there's the code if you would like to add this Parasaurolophus to your collection. And again, the Jurassic World logo there on the back. Absolutely beautiful, very small Parasaurolophus. Honestly, I would say this one's probably one of my favorite Parasaurolophus that Mattel has released, which is pretty impressive because going into this set, I wasn't really expecting much when it comes to this figure. I was really more excited just to get a Roland figure, but actually having this Parasaurolophus now in hand, I can say I absolutely love this figure. And then as far as the weapon goes, we are going to unfortunately shoot our Parasaurolophus. I would really rather not because he's very nice, very adorable over there, but to shoot him, we're just going to push this button down. And that worked pretty good. Pretty much exactly as you would expect. I think I might have missed the Parasaurolophus. It might have went right under him, but I couldn't find that for a second. You have 3 of those included, just I guess in case you lose some. You've got a few extras as backup. As far as a size goes for the figure, well, for all 3 of the figures, we're going to stand them all up here. Get an idea of the measurement. It's weird that the Roland figure doesn't want to stand. There we go. I was going to say the Parasaurolophus was also giving me some problems for a second there. Actually, let's just move them out of the way. We'll do one of these at a time. To get them all in frame at once is impossible. For a length, you are looking at right around the, I'd say a little over 10 inches or around 25.5 centimeters. And then for a height, about 4 3/4 inches or right around the 12 centimeter area. For our Roland is going to fall right in the 3 3/4 inch range, of course, because that's the usual size for a human figure, or right around 9.5 centimeters. And then for the Parasaurolophus, which is the biggest difference as far as what your normal Parasaurolophus would be in the Mattel line, you were looking at about 7.5 inches or 19 centimeters in a length. And then for a height, just shy of 3 3/4 inches or right around the 9.5 centimeter area. For a size comparison, there is Mr. Papo T-Rex, the Attack Pack Colovosaurus, and Robert Muldoon from the Mattel Jurassic World toy line. And I will say straight away, it is so cool to see Muldoon next to Roland Tembo there. I always thought it would have been really neat to see those two interact somehow in one of the films. But as far as, again, everything else goes, you can see the Parasaurolophus falls like into the size range of if you were to have a Savage Strike or Attack Pack style Parasaurolophus. I feel like that's pretty much right around the size range for that figure. And then, of course, Mr. Papo Rex towering over almost everything except the vehicle, which does absolutely sport some really impressive size. And then another comparison that's definitely a fun one, we have the Hammond Collection Parasaurolophus here with the Parasaurolophus that comes with this Legacy Collection set, obviously running from poor Roland Tembo over here, and you can definitely see again how cool they look together. That Parasaurolophus from the Hammond Collection makes a great addition to this scene, really taking you back to the Lost World Jurassic Park, and again just showing off also at the same time the size of this smaller juvenile style Parasaurolophus. Definitely a really cool figure to include in a diorama with this set. So this brand new Isla Sorna capture pack from Mattel for the Jurassic World Legacy Collection is absolutely awesome, and honestly, I was hyped for it, but it's even cooler here in hand than I was expecting it to be. Like, it is absolutely beautiful. I am a huge fan of the Lost World Jurassic Park. It's definitely really up there as far as one of my all-time favorite movies, so to have, again, a Lost World set here from Mattel is incredibly cool, and to know that there are more coming is even cooler. But they did a great job here capturing the likeness of pretty much everything that you see included in the set compared to what we see in the Lost World Jurassic Park. The vehicle itself looks fantastic sculpt-wise. The paint also looks good aside from the addition of the extra color that we didn't really need. And there's some slight differences when it comes to the overall appearance of the vehicle compared to what you see on screen. But as far as, you know, a playability standpoint goes, it's awesome, and it captures pretty much what you would like to see for a Lost World style vehicle. And just for the simple fact that Mattel has given us one of these is incredibly cool. And then Roland Tembo himself is incredibly beautiful. Like, the likeness, again, is spot on. It is picture perfect, and the figure as a whole is beautifully done from every aspect. The sculpt is great, the paint is great, the articulation is awesome. Definitely one of the coolest human figures that Mattel has released in a very long time. And the Parasaurolophus, although again not perfectly matching up to the way it looks in the Lost World Jurassic Park, is still a beautiful figure. Absolutely gorgeous looking sculpt for sure. The sculpt is insanely highly detailed, and the paint job, again, is probably one of my favorites that they've released on a Parasaurolophus in general. I mean, I know they usually go for kind of like that Lost World Jurassic Park style coloration for the Parasaurolophus, but this one actually differs quite a bit from every one they've released prior, and I really like the unique look for this one and the coloration that they've used. It looks nice and natural overall and very appealing here in hand. The sculpt is great, the paint is great. I wish we would have had a little more running out onto the tail and painted nails, but that's a complaint almost for every Mattel figure. So as a whole, this is a great set from Mattel and one I highly recommend picking up. So I will include a link in the description to where you can do that on the Target website. So make sure you check that link, head on over there and purchase one of these sets for yourself. And also like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you in the next review. Thanks for watching.